Hello, 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 and welcome to WRPC Tier 3. And we are back this week once again. I return for the first time in a little while, and so does Hyper. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well, going into what should be a fun, enjoyable race is what's kind of getting me excited for today. But other than that, it's been quite a hectic weekend come Monday even as well for me. So I'm gassed. I'm excited for what we have in store for us.
Very much me too. Man, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this week's race. And as you might have seen down in the title, but we'll show you again, it is time for Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, 6.174 kilometers, 3.836 miles, 27 turns, 2 DRS zones down that pit straight and down that sort of curved left-hand straight from turns 25 down to, of course, the final corner at the hairpin of turn 27. And I've got to say, it's a very high-speed track. It's incredibly fast, incredibly difficult. What do you think we're going to see here from the drivers tonight?
The answer that everyone wants to hear is going to be like great overtaking. It's going to be really powerful, and we're going to see some magical moments. But the reality is, it's going to be a lot of DRS trades. However, there are long DRS zones. We have, of course, the turn 27 overtaking opportunity, the turn 1 overtaking opportunity, but we do see a lot of mistakes start to form, particularly off the exit of 10, which can form lunges into 13, and then very brave and bold lunges into 22 as well. So those type of areas is where we're going to see some action amongst the race. But in terms of qualifying, which again, another key part of this series, we're going to see some invalidations start to creep through, which is crazy for a street circuit, but particularly through the S's of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's where you usually see a lot of drivers overdrive the car, force that little bit of understeer, and the car just doesn't want to stick and go across the white line.
Very true. We've got to talk about one corner, turn 27, final corner.
The best.
Yes, it is very much, we've seen in real life, drivers made plenty of errors in qualifying. Of course, Max Verstappen back in 2021, which still breaks my heart. But I do have to say, we saw it, I think, last season as well, here in WR. In Tier 3, I think we saw 2 drivers hit the wall off of the exit. Lots of drivers do it. It's pushing the limit of the track. I always see when going into the corner, it's probably the most difficult corner because of anticipation coming up to it. You're coming around the straight, it's all or nothing. This on that hairpin, that final corner, turn 27, you can gain so much time, but you can lose so much time as well. I think it's so interesting when, especially when you just go through the entire track. But I see that we're about to get into qualifying, so before I forget, let's look at 2 quick things. The calendar, we have gone through Las Vegas, Great Britain, and Monza, although last week I don't think we raced. So this week, of course, Saudi Arabia. Then we've got Mexico, Canada, and Austria. Then we've got the Christmas break. Then we go to Bahrain, China, and Sao Paulo. I do have one other thing to look at, and that is the standings. Yes, I know. Don't mind the very, very bland look of what I've put together. This is not the best I could do, but here it is. Essentially, Enzo Sabaton, a win in round 1, of course, in Las Vegas, then followed by a lovely P4 finish, puts him on 37 points, 12 points ahead of Claudio Diaz in second, who, of course, got that victory in the last race. Daniel Goshawk as well up there with a podium. Spezzi as well, nailed out. Quite a few drivers nailed out, coming out with quite a decent average P4 and P5 in the first 2 races of the season. So yeah, it's an interesting one there, but you can see the standings. A lot of drivers still yet to score points. I think only 12 drivers have scored points so far in the opening 2 races, so not a lot of drivers. So a lot of consistent finishes from the first 10 drivers. The fact that only 2 more drivers score points in the last race, and we are now finally into qualifying once OBS decides to show my lovely screen, and it does, finally. It never likes
Finally.
to. It never likes to show the screen when I need it to. It likes to just show pitch black. I set this up all before, so it nicely started, but it never does. But we are finally out onto the track, and it's the two Williams that are out first, and it is, I think it is Daniel Goshawk, who's the first driver out on track. Of course, he's got a decent history. But interesting to see, not a lot of drivers coming out very early on, within the first minute of qualifying, but we've got this small group, and then we've got the quite big chunk of drivers further back, like Jonas Orpel. 4 drivers who, by the way, 5 drivers, I believe that is, who are all incredibly close to each other. Oh my god.
Are we racing?
Yeah,
Are we racing already?
Each other. Oh my god. This is going to be a very interesting qualifying start, I have to say. Drivers racing over track position for qualifying. I've not seen this in a very long time, so an interesting one to start this evening.
Doesn't it give you like Kota vibes just seeing drivers fighting over track position? But we still have 16 minutes left. It is bizarre, but at the same time, there's theory to the madness that all these guys will know what to do. But Daniel will be the first one to cross the start-finish line, and should it get underway as a little hop on board, we'll see him absolutely put the metal to the pedal, or pedal to the metal, whichever the way around it goes. You swing the car to the far right, and it's a heavy brake. Drop it down to the 3rd gear, and then it gets slower and tighter amongst the exits. So you're constantly slowing this car down, and then it's power, power, power all the way through. Trust your car, and then it's going to grip through these S's. This is where you can get that invalidation, because the track does widen. One wrong move, and the car just understeers, particularly on the exit of 10. Thankfully, Daniel doesn't cross over too far, and we're back into a little bit of a safety region. A long 13 where you can make and lose time. Well, we'll see drivers actually take a few different lines. Some like to do kind of a double apex style. Some, like Daniel, like stick close to the curb. Quick dab of the brakes and flicks through the chicane of the turn 16 and 17 for, again, powering all the way up, opening up the DRS, which should come about now. And then into the braking zone, into 22. Again, not much of an overtaking area, but again, dab the brakes, back on that power, and then into the final DRS zone, where we will see some overtaking here into 27. You bring the car wide, and you swing it in, and you heard the understeer from Daniel's car. Can he make up for a little bit of a loss of time here? Hug the wall, get as close to the line as possible. Your benchmark today, 126.1. 125s are definitely possible today.
I very much do agree, and Boba proving to get very close to it. 26.081, finding another exactly another 600ths over Daniel Goshawk. You see a couple of other drivers. Lucas goes into provisional pole. Another, again, exactly 200ths of a second. Look at this! Look at Daniel Goshawk and Jonas Orpel. Identical lap times to start off tonight's qualifying. Very interesting to see. I think we've got another driver. I think that's somebody. That was Jans Fadilic, who finds a little bit more time. He doesn't keep up the exact 200s. But there we go. You said the 25s were possible, and it is very possible as Tristan Janssen goes into a 25.983, just scraping into the 25s, as his teammate Spezzi as well goes into a 26.024. So the Haas is absolutely flying out there here in Saudi Arabia.
It's showing that already early phases of track evolution are starting to show, because drivers that we're not expecting to be near the top, like Spezzi, like Lucas, are starting to show a lot more pace than they normally would. So this is possibly why we're seeing a major offset of drivers, some going out early, some going out late, to take advantage of track evolution. And it's very interesting to see, as we are going to see Neil Gutt go for his start of, I think he's doing a double run here. So he did a cold, and he's going for another push now.
Yeah, I think he made a mistake potentially, because he was in the 1 minute 40s, so he wasn't going sort of slowly throughout the entire lap. It looked like he might have made a mistake somewhere. Otherwise, it maybe was the other McLaren of Tom Wolfgram. who I also saw. So who knows? It could be one of the two of them. I just wish they had names on them. It'd be so much easier to see. But heading round.
Or we just remember their numbers. Might be easier. I know. Driver 66, Neil Gouts, you know?
No, I mean from the mini map. Looking at
No, but they don't overlap. You've got some design flaws that we got problems with. Anyways, focusing back on the on the lap at hand, pretty tidy from Neil, and keeping it clean is what he needs to do. Tugging these walls, he's leaving barely any margins against the walls as well. So quite a strong performance. Nothing popping up purples on the minimap. Of course, take those with a pinch of salt at all times. But this looks decent to be possibly a top 10 region as he will round the final corner. Hugs the wall. He could have got a bit more if you really, really want to risk it. But you really cut as much as you can. It's only good for 18th, so somewhere in that lap, he has lost a good chunk of time.
I mean, yes, he's lost a good chunk of time, but we've also got to point out that first is on a 25.9. There is less than half a second splitting first to 18th. That's how close it is. As Tom Wolfgram crosses the line now, he does a 26.5. So both McLarens seeming a little bit off on pace this evening. So they're a bit off of where sort of everyone else is. Only Leonzio. I'm trying. Only he goes slower currently. He's the only slower driver out on track by just over a tenth. But again, you gotta give benefit of the doubt to some. Maybe a bit of a poor lap. So of course it is just the first lap from some of these drivers. So they've not even had a full second run. They've not even had an attempt to try again. So I think we're going to be waiting a little bit longer. Not much longer because, as we can see, Jonas Orpel is out on track once again. But I've got to say that the first run, impressive from a lot of drivers. Impressive, by the way, from that top 9. All just over a tenth of a second apart from each other. All so incredibly close. I mean, 8 of the top 9 are all in the 1 minute 26.0s, except the man on pole position, as we've just reached the final 10 minutes of qualifying. That just shows how quickly, when qualifying is going absolutely brilliantly, and we're seeing some stunning laps from drivers, that just shows how quickly it goes by. But we're going to be watching Jonas Orpel next as he goes round on his lap, but he is going to be facing a bit of traffic, so might be a bit of a troublesome second run for the RB driver.
It should be interesting. See how well either weaves through and how much compliance his rivals will set forward. Of course, naturally impeding a driver will give you a qualifying ban, which puts you down into dead last come the race. But we've had the rare occasions where people who've come in last have won the race as well. So there's a lot of factors here. Of course, you don't want to be dead last, but on this lap, Jonas clean through these S's so far. This is where the understeer really starts to build. Can he flick that car back around one last time? No, the curb took him, and too much curb forced him off, and that's the dangers of that horrible S sector. You fling through 9 because you transferred the weight through 8 onto the left side of the car. You have to force the weight to the right and then quickly fling it back to the left. And the curb, it's so easy to upset the car. So yeah, I'm not surprised we finally see a first victim of the 8, 9, 10.
Me too. I think let's be honest, we've all hit that curb at some point. We've all done it, especially me. I've DNF'd from too many races because of that curb, so I do not like this track. But Ryan Kaporsi on his lap at the moment, down in 17th. He needs a 10th to even just 1/10 will only get him up 3 places to 14th. Whoa! Clips the wall, and you can see even his front wing end plate has come off there for the Alpine. Very interesting to see, a quite disastrous middle sector. It looked like he was also coming together in that final sector. He was improving more and more by a 10th, and now he's kind of fallen away. But I do have the next driver to look at, and that's Jans Verdilic, who's luckily come out quite nicely in this with all this traffic. He's only had 2 cars to get past, but he does come in anyway, so clearly that traffic was enough for him to say not today and to come across the line in the end to come back into the pits. Who else is on a lap?
Oliver Knott? Is that the driver we're seeing in third that's about to cross the line? Or is this going to be... No, Oliver Knott's a bit further back, so it's going to be the McLaren. No? Abdullah, I think, is about to cross this line as well, down in 14th currently.
It's Leon Zio next.
Oh,
actually.
Didn't even see he was there.
There's so many drivers, too many drivers. You know what? Let's blame the drivers. Abdullah Bulaish comes in.
Not the production, just the drivers.
Yeah. You know what? They should be more spaced out. It's their fault.
Ivan Santamaria goes and jumps up into 12th. We know we could do a lot more. Dark Zanaeus jumps from P13 all the way to P1. Major improvement from the RB driver, as we are going to see a few more drivers start to come across the line. A lot of them diving into the pits, almost bailing on their lap. Tristan Janssen also bailing into the pits. A lot of them not happy. Thomas Laminen finally somewhere near the top, but he finds himself P3. And how many errors are we actually seeing from these drivers then?
I'm not sure whether this is errors or whether it's some traffic in all of it, because quite a lot of those cars were quite close together. So possibly we're seeing some traffic. Maybe we're seeing some problems as Enzo Sabaton goes P2, just misses out on provisional pole by 6 thousandths of a second. Very close as Elias Luckhart went for another, actually finished his run now. You got him mixed up for Oliver Knott, but he has crossed the line. He's ahead of Oliver Knott. He's into a 25.9. It's incredible. You've got 5 drivers now. It went from 1 driver of just Tristan Janssen in the 25s. Now we've got 5 drivers in there and 3 in front of the Haas. But I think we've got some other drivers coming up to the line. Now Gao improved slightly to go P17. His teammate was improving. I think had a bit of a problem with the Mercedes in front of him, though.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially, indeed. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a bold prediction here, and it's gonna be very bold. I think whoever can get the 25/8 has got pole, because we're not too far away from this. We are on the fringe. A 25.92 from Dark Zarnus. Or Zernus, sorry.
I believe it's Zanaeus. I believe.
Oh, fancy Zanaeus. Sorry. Zanaeus, we love you. Aliases are beautiful, hence why I keep my alias for a very long time. But that's fancy as hell.
I think but also, don't trust me. Don't trust me with the names.
Hey, I don't trust myself with names. I'm dyslexic as hell. But Dark Zanaeus, I'm trying to see. Has he actually... He has been around. He's a reserve. He's come 12th and 11th in the last 2 races as a reserve driver, but now sitting himself on pole, which goes to show this man likes straight lines. He is a speed demon who knows how to set his car up for combat. Remember, plan C for combat.
Jans Fadilic was pushing, and now he's a second down on his lap, so it looks like he's maybe just a bit unhappy with his lap in the end. I've got to say, there's one driver that's currently surprising me for sort of being a bit off the pace right now, and that's got to be Boba, who's just a little bit off for the pace. Not far, but P10 in such a close grid is not great. It's only 1 point, remember, so it's not a lot of points. It's just 1. You don't really want to walk away with just 1 point. As we see Boba actually comes out of the pits, I think that was perfect timing for my camera work. But I think ultimately, Boba needs to be higher up, because I mean, if you look at this grid as he just cuts the exit line completely, what are we seeing on these cameras today?
I think bro knows that he's on camera right now. I think he's gonna do some shady stuff.
Bro is just bro is asking for a penalty. He's just like, you know what? I want a challenge today. He's gonna do last to first.
He's gonna be out here doing something different. But the thing is you know, as much as we do appreciate Boba and his capability, he has DNF'd the last few times. So I question question it all with a pinch of salt. There's pace there clearly because we've seen him qualify quite well within the top 10 on the last 2 occasions, if I've got that correct. However, when in race is the problem. You could be great at a 1-lap hotshot and a car could be designed towards it. You know, look at Mercedes here and there for this season. Great on a 1-lap pace, but as soon as you get them on race pace, it's a different story entirely, and that's where the penny drops. It just ends there. So we'll see. We'll see what can come from it, but I'm not confident that necessarily there's going to be some race pace in Boba's lap.
We'll have to wait and see, because possibly a strong position could help him. But let's ride on board with Elias Lucker, who starts off the final runs for this evening. You could see the massive army of cars that has just come out onto the track. We're going to be looking at all of them at some point. Into turn 1, braking hard, throwing the car, and you can see very different line from what we saw earlier. I'm not sure, I can't remember who we watched actually earlier, but very, very different line. Daniel Goshawk it was. I've just remembered now. But Elias Lucker making his way around, very neat, very clean. Of course, P3, he needs to be neat. And that Ferrari, you've got to say, is stuck to the ground through that first sector. Absolutely undeniable, up by 25 thousandths of a second. Won't gain him a position as of yet, or possibly, sorry, no it won't. He's just short of that P2, just very short of the P2, and he's looking for that front row, or he wants that pole. Everybody wants pole, but Elias Lockhart has that on his bucket list, all the way up to the walls. My guy is pushing with everything. And here he comes with the DRS into this next section. This is very important. The chicane up by 42 thousandths. This will be provisional pole as it stands, but he's got to keep finding more time. Very smooth, very much straight lining almost that chicane there. Very good from himself. Now into turn 27 in the final corner. Luckily, traffic has got him moving, so he hasn't had to navigate traffic. A little bit wide off of the apex there, not getting it how he wants to, and all the way up to the line now. We will watch as Elias Lockhart makes his way up to the line. And it is going to be provisional pole, 1 minute 25.894 from himself. I think we just saw, that's Boba, P2.
Hey, improvements, finds himself a mere 3/30 of a second. Basically small margins. Daniel Gottschgert goes across the line, finds himself P8, but the real contenders, Enzo, can he find his way up? Can Dark Xenaeus able to push himself up? There's not much improvement in the rest of the field so far. We're seeing Oscar dive into the pits, deciding, no, this is not the lap for me. Enzo will find pole as he goes 2/10 faster. Oh, sorry, 2/100 of a tenth faster. The Haas of Tristan Giannis able to find some improvement, but Oliver not out of nowhere. 125.6. Which corner did he cut to get to that level? A massive, massive gap between the rest of his competitors. Jan able to jump up into second as well. The gaps keep closing down. The 28s keep popping in. Laminen only able to find P7. Can Lucas find a little jump up here? No, nothing from him. Ivan Santamaria able to find P6. And a huge, huge upset in the qualifying. And that will be your result. Holy mackerel.
I've got to say, you know what? I really wish we could watch on board with Oliver Knott on that run. I really wish we knew at that time he was going to do something so special. But that is a pole. That's not even just a pole. That's like 3 poles in one singular qualifying. Absolutely brilliant from the Ferrari man. So let's go through the order of the grid. It is Oliver Knott with a dominant pole position in a 25.6. Then it's Jans Fadilic, followed by Enzo Sabaton, Elias Lockhart, then Boba, Ivan Santamaria, then Dark Xenaeus, then Tumas Laminen, Tristan Janssen, Ryan Grob, then it's Jonas Orpel, followed by Spezzi, Daniel Goshawk, Lucas SL, Oscar Villacampa, Nail Gout, Ryan Camporsi, Tom Wolfgram, Abdullah Bulaich, and Leon Zio, who was very much just kind of on his own slightly in this session at the back of the grid. But that is that. Whoa. I had to speak quite quickly there. We wouldn't have got the results.
A lot of names. Remember, 20 drivers, you got to count down all the way through. But this should eye up for an interesting race. Of course, medium hards is going to be the tire strategy, but what order? We've seen a lot of drivers do medium hards and run by that route. But to be honest, I know this is kind of more of a me thing, but I do feel that the hard medium strat does come with a lot of pros, and particularly as we do get quite a few safety cars on this track as well.
I do agree, but I will say there's less and less safety cars every year's game, especially with the competition we're seeing and how close they are. I think these drivers know what they can do. I think these drivers are good enough to get around the track. We know they can. We've just seen some of the best laps I think I've ever seen. And probably, and quite possibly, the closest grid I think I've ever seen. So, absolutely incredible. I think strategy, I think, is very simple. Like you said, hard, medium. Gonna be one of the two. I could see maybe one or two of the drivers at the back maybe go for soft tires at some point. Maybe for fastest lap. Maybe just, just to push through the field to look nice. Who knows? But there is a chance. But I've got to say, everybody, I think, genuinely has a chance at points tonight because of how close it is. I mean, one mistake from one driver could lead to catastrophe for 3 or 4. And we are going. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go here in Saudi Arabia for WOR PC Tier 3 round number 4. And it's a brilliant getaway from Oliver Knott as he makes his way into turn 1 dominantly, side by side between Enzo Sabaton and Jans Fidelic as they battle over that front row. Still going into the next corner, still side by side no longer as Enzo Sabaton holds on to that P2 position, and it is strong for himself. Jans Fidelic just trying to hold on to P3 for the moment because he Tumas Laminin battling with Tristan Janssen over P9. And Tumas Laminin able to hold on to that position when he needed to. Oscar Villacampa further back also makes his way past Abdullah Bulaic for position. I think that was either a defense or it was an attack. I'm not sure which one it was. But it's been a great start from Oliver Knott as he leads away. So he's pulling away quite well. And that's somebody round. That is Tristan Janssen, who's round, who I'm trying to reach. And there he's... Oh! He's in the wall and he's out!
Full course yellow. Safety car's going to be out. That car's in the middle of nowhere. I told you the safety car would come out. And surprisingly, everyone went clean through the hardest section of the track. But as soon as you came to the turn 13, a little too much power from Tristan Janssen. And then from there, it was just downhill. His car unghosted, and he just caught another car. Into the wall he goes. So it looks like Jonas Orpel as well. I don't know if that's deliberate leaving, but this is the perfect time if there's going to be any problems to leave.
Yeah, I don't think he would have, because, I mean, he's P10 at the moment, so I think he's just disconnected. We know how EA loves to be with their servers. We know they're not too fun. But Oliver Knott, we've got to say, that start from him, very dominant start into turn 1. Just as we saw in qualifying, he was incredibly dominant. And we saw he just took the lead into turn 1. He let nobody get side by side with him. And you saw the line he took through turn 1. He went wide and he just he almost cut across. Just make it clear, I'm not slowing down for anyone. And I'm not letting anyone through. And I think that allowed Enzo Sabaton to actually make a good... I think he did make a move. Yes, he did. He got past Jans Fidelic. I was thinking of he got past somebody. But he got past Jans Fidelic for position. And I've got to say, it was a very good move from Enzo Sabaton as well, able to just jump Jans Fidelic a bit off of that start. I've got to say, it wasn't a great start, though, from Tumas Laminin. He found himself in trouble very early on into that start. He just seemed to go backwards a bit. He's only lost 1 place, but still, as you'll know, 1 place can be the difference between getting on the podium and not being on the podium. You know, it's that sort of start to the race. Luckily, it is a safety car. I think 2 drivers have come in to stop, which I'll pull up their tyres actually. Everybody is on the medium tyres except Abdullah Bulaic and some fresh tyres for Lucas SL and Nail Gout, who is down in P19. But as you see, a lot of medium tyres. I think we knew, to be honest, I thought there'd be a few more hard tyre runners in the grid. I didn't think it'd be mostly mediums except for the 3 drivers. I think, that's why Tristan Janssen was also on the hards. That's why he was going backwards and struggling for grip. So I think we've just found one of the reasons why. But yeah, an interesting start from all. But yeah.
A pretty interesting start. I was gonna, we kind of gone past it a little bit now before I could make my point on the start. I was gonna say Oliver Knott's wide attack didn't come with any defense either. His just launch off the line was superior to Jan and Enzo, so there was no need to defend that inside line. So why compromise a better exit than when you could have a great entry and a great exit off top of it? So Oliver Knott played that to perfection. The mid pack was where the action truly happened, a lot of side by side, and I'm still surprised through the S's that we were able to see a few cars go too wide. But critically, Boba, you talk about him a lot. You talk about the potential, 2 DNFs from him, finding himself P5th. This is a prime opportunity for himself to show that he can have some race craft. He just has to play it clean. If he's able to jump the Ferrari of Elias into turn 1, brilliant. He's then in that contention to fight for the win. But right now, his primary focus here is getting a good launch at the exit of Tony 7.
I do agree. I know I do say about Boba quite often. That is purely based off of what I know of him from the past commentary. I will just point that out to everyone. It's not favoritism at all. It's just from, I know his history.
Favoritism.
Shut up. But it's again, like, there's some drivers here like Ivan Santamaria, Oliver Knott, Jan Svidilic, Tumas Laminen. These are drivers who have been in Tier 3 for multiple seasons while I've been doing commentary. So this isn't a new thing, and seeing them in different positions. But the safety car is in this lap, and this is where Oliver Knott, again, he had to do that race start. This time he has to do a rolling start, but he's got to show that he can get away well as he allows the safety car to get away. Of course, he gets to control the pack, he gets to control the pace, and he gets to control when they all get away. No overtaking until they cross that start-finish line. Let's see when Oliver Knott go.
You can go really late. The safety car line, you could see just where the safety car went in is a lot further up. So yes, you could get off the exit of 27, but still remain slow. But it looks like Knott's gone for it. No, he went and stopped. Oh, there's questionability here. He should have not done that. Now he's put the pedal to the metal as he starts going down towards turn 1. And this is what I mean about getting a jump on anybody. How about Elias trying to look down the inside of the kick? Sauber doesn't fully commit, and in doing so, now pushed all the way back to Boba. And Boba wasn't in a position to fight back, but the Ferrari thankfully had a good exit and just need to remain patient through the S's, remain close, don't allow that downforce to disappear under the dirty air of the kick Sauber, and maybe a lunge into 13 might be doable. He gets closer, but no, he's just a little too far away for now.
I've got to say, that was not a good restart from Oliver Knott either. It wasn't just the stop-start, he just didn't seem to pull away well there.
It's more the case that, first of all, the stop-start didn't help, and there will be some questionability. It might be just from our angle. It looked like he stop-started, but it was read like a book. Enzo spotted it, and whether it was a continuous off 27 and he did go, or there was a pause, Enzo was there. And being this close, this off a restart is terrible, because now Enzo's going to save his tires. He's going to relax, he's going to chill, he's going to keep in the slipstream. When his tires get a little too hot, he's going to dip out, cool them down. There is a lot that Enzo will do in this scenario, and at any point when he feels like it, he's going to make the move into turn 1.
But we can both agree that it looks like, off of that, even out of this sort of restart lap, we've seen Oliver Knott do quite well when it comes down to pace, but we've got Daniel Goschalk making a move on Jonas Orpel for position. You can see this is for P10, the edge of the points. really battling for the lowest. Ooh, hitting the wall very slightly there from Daniel Goshawk, but in the end, he makes the move. And I've got to say, that was a very interesting way to get a move done, but it's the way that we love to see it. With some good fair racing there from the two of them, both leaving some good space.
Abdullah getting past Oscar for P13 as well. That happened just a little bit further back from the battle we were watching. So a little gain of positions from the mid pack as well. While this is all happening, Tom Wolfgram's found himself a few positions into 15th. So the McLarens fighting their way back. But all eyes look towards the front while we wait. Is there a one massive DRS train? And the first port of call here is which drive's going to make the mistake. Is Spezzy 0.0 of a second behind? Is he set by side somebody here? No, he's right on the rear end of the kick of the RP. Doesn't make the move. There was a prime opportunity for it into 22, but not a lot of people like to take that risk. But round 2, how about 1 into 27? If you can do it, why not? And he does look down the inside, still doesn't go for it.
We even saw, you said about Tom Wolfgram a second ago, even he was under attack from Ryan Camporsi for position. He had a little bit, we saw Ryan look for a little bit of a move to the outside, but Wolfgram covered it. But now we've, I think, got another move happening between Spezzy and Jonas Orpel, getting very close once again. It looks like Spezzy went for the outside, but did not make the move in the end. So again, haven't hold on to position, but what it's all about is just, you make a move. If it doesn't work, you've got to sort of recompose yourself a bit. You've got to compose and you've got to be ready to go for it. Again, and Boba has made a move. Somebody's gone off, and that's Elias Luckhart who's gone off. It looks like he touched the massive sausage curb through the double right-hander, and it looks like he's down to P7 now, and that is even though it's a tiny mistake, it's a mistake that has a massive cost.
The sausage finds another victim once again. It's always the sausage curbs. Always is, but it is critical that you want to attack those S's, and especially with the heavy weight that the cars are right now, that disruption when you tap the curb is going to be even worse. But it's all about aggression. It's that fine-tuned balance. So it is what it is at the end of the day, and they have to look at this and go, right, we made a mistake. What can I do from this position? Can I offset my strategy? Can I do a Ferrari special and go long? Because I feel it seems like every Ferrari in the game always goes long, as we do watch Abdullah get a fight with Spezzy, who... Hang on a minute, why is Spezzy down in this position? Because he was a lot further up, but Abdullah goes down the inside and says, thank you very much. Cheers, sir. Easy overtake for myself. In the background, Ryan Corpusy, side by side with Tom Wolfgram. Thank you very much, says the Alpine, as he jumps to 15th.
Yeah, it was a nice move there. A little bit close with the tyres touching, but in the end, Spezzy was actually P12, and Abdullah's just made, I think, 2 or 3 overtakes in the last lap or 2. That's why Abdullah's suddenly up here. Abdullah's showing some incredible pace on those hard tyres. Clearly the medium tyres starting to wear off a bit. So it's clear to see that the hards are starting to work into that, area of being the faster compound. But I think very much at the moment we can see the mediums and the hards are about equal on pace. But the hards starting to come out slightly faster now over the next couple of laps. Probably by about lap 10, we'll see the hards fully taking over that pace across the entire track. Now,
I was going to mention, Abdullah's that type of driver, and we've seen this before. He is great at overtaking. If he's near the rear of the pack, he just has this mentality of, right, head forward, forwards only. And he manages his battery well, he manages his tires well, he maintains high pace throughout, and he's constantly finding position. So I would not be surprised if we see Abdullah possibly move up to P7 from his positioning. So he needs to iron out his qualifying laps, and then you can only imagine what he'll be doing if, say, he was in 7th place. He probably would have been up to P3 by now.
Is it just me or something happening to Tom Wolfgram? Because he's gone from P15 to P18 in just 2 laps. He's just dropped to 3 drivers, including his teammate, within just a very short amount of laps. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but I was actually just about to mention about how close Jan Svidilic got to Enzo Sabaton there. He was just under 0.2 of a second behind Enzo Sabaton. So at the moment, it looks like everybody's being nice to each other in the lead, but this is all strategy for the rest of the race.
Yeah, we're not going to see pits until 15. Maybe a few earlier ones will do it before 15. They'll
12,
go
12
yeah,
15 probably.
12 to 15 that region. So we're getting closer to it. So Oscar has made a mistake somewhere.
He's lost his front wing end plate.
Oh, he's lost his end plate. Yeah, touched the wall.
Yeah, again, that's what the second driver today to do that. So it's proving the walls are being quite deadly. But we see this in real life as well, don't we? You know, every real life F1 driver always says it's difficult, but as Abdullah makes another move on now Jonas Orpel for P11. And we saw a move further back as well from Lucas in the Mercedes on the driver of Ryan Camporsi.
There is a second gap between Lucas and Spezzi, by the way. It's actually 1.7, 1.8 now. So it is slowly increasing. So we're going to see a lot of overtaking in that 14th position going back and forth because these guys at the rear, they don't care about the front. They care about getting that singular point. So each one of them thinking they are faster than the other. So don't be surprised if we see some changes. But it is a matter of time. A matter of time until we get to the pit stop phases. But until then, should we start a little podcast? Because this is literally just a DRS train through. Actually, quick point out. I think I did see Daniel in 10th break into that second mark briefly. He needs to be careful.
Possibly. But you can see that Tumas Lamon's also reaching that point slowly. But so is Enzo Sabaton. He's not the only one. We've got the battle over the race lead, and it's only really DRS that Enzo Sabaton is holding on to at the moment. That's the only thing that I think is really keeping Enzo Sabaton within a fighting chance for the win of Oliver Knott.
If you're wondering why aren't we getting hyped at this Kick Sauber going wide and looking like he's overtaking, he's not. I'm sorry to disappoint, they're not. They're only cooling down the tires and cooling down the engines. And we're going to see this a lot of fake moves that aren't going to get committed because they're not close enough, as just as we get excited. Lap 10, we're seeing some drivers going in. So the undercut looking to be an option here. The big question is, how powerful is it?
I think we know on this year's game the undercut is better than the overcut. I think it depends. It depends on what point in the race. For instance, if the latest people stop on lap 15, let's say, these hards will be 5 laps worn by the time that comes round. So by the end of the race, the overcut might be stronger. But with Jeddah, it all depends on track position. I think we can both agree on that. It very much depends on track position. Because, like we're seeing Abdullah, he's making his way through the pack. But if he was P5, I'd say he'd probably be up on the podium by this point. You know, if he qualified a lot higher. But it's purely the fact that he's been able to keep up. And he's had the pace, and he's made a couple of moves that he's had to make. And he's gapping a couple of drivers like Lucas and Ryan Camporsi further back. But he's still got the problem that he's now got these next 8 drivers in front of him that he's not really going to be able to make a move on, as Ryan Grob cuts the chicane quite heavily there. Lucky that he didn't get a penalty for that.
I can only imagine Abdullah's comms. It's going to be, he cut the corner. He can't do this. He cut the corner. But we're going to see a couple of the front runners going. Enzo and Jan dropping into the pits. We're also seeing the Ferrari of Elias and Ryan Grob into the pits. Oh my God. Is there a penalty for Elias? I don't think so. So he slowed down just enough. But does Ryan Grob have damage? Yes, he's lost a piece of his end plate.
He's lost his whole end plate. Ryan Grob now retires, and I think that is a bit more in anger than it is in anything else. And Ryan Grob now retires, becoming the second retiree of this evening. Is it going to bring out a safety car, though?
If this brings out a safety car, this really brings Abdullah into play. It brings Lucas into it. Nail Gout. Is it going to cause a safety car?
Is it?
It's stopped on track.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see, is this car just going to disappear? I know there's other
Is this the entertainment we have right now?
No, in the end,
no safety car.
It's strange, because I know in previous years' games, I know on F1 24 it constantly did that, if you retired. and then you stop there, you'd constantly get safety cars. Oliver Knott, though, leads, and he's got this, it's interesting because from the top 6, top 7, there's not really been any racing before the pit stops. So I think we will see a massive shake-up in this, as now Oliver Knott guns into the pit lane along with Dark Eyes and Boba. Stopping just in time. That looked very, very close to speeding.
Abdullah staying out.
He's on the hards, though.
Oh, true. But to be honest, he's got pace. That's the crazy thing about Abdullah. I was watching those lap times. Not the lap times, but the sector times. And he's got some tremendous pace on those hards. So you can only imagine what he could do as soon as he changes over to the medium with a lighter car and grippier tires. I think realistically, we can't rule out this major overcut strategy if he keeps pumping in lap times like this.
As soon as you said he's showing incredible pace, he starts drifting through the S section.
Hey, commentator's curse is a blessing.
But yeah, Abdullah leads away. There is a chance to overcut, but the problem is it depends how quick Oliver Knott is, because if I quickly change one thing from the leader currently, if you have a look, it is 12.7 seconds. Now Boba makes the move for P8 in this race as he gets past Ivan Santamaria for position. Let me not just pull up the lap time difference. Here's the tyres. Everyone's on hards, and the top 3 will most likely be going to mediums. But as I was saying, you can see that's already down to below 12 seconds. Look at how much time. He's just taken out 2/10 in a single corner. Like, that's a big chunk of time.
It's still the offset, though, that he's trying to pull off, and a 20-second stop will put her up and down to 15th. We know the man can overtake. I think realistically 7th, unless a safety car comes out, which I would not be surprised if we do see a safety car again, with these guys wanting to tussle over a bit of position here as well, as this is after that pit stop phase. This is where we see a little bit of fighting to be the lead driver in a sense, as Spezzi's the first one to get a 3-second time penalty amongst this group. Nobody's really attacking. I'm surprised no one's committing to a fight.
I think at the moment, I think they're all just they're like, we're trying to catch up to the top 2. We're trying to cut down that lead and save tyres and save ERS for the end of the race. That's still 12 laps away, but I think they're all to some degree working together. But you've also got to take into account Oliver Knott, by the way, has just made it to a second between him and Jan Svidilic.
Danger zone. Absolute danger zone. Which also brings out a point. Jan has jumped Enzo in the pits. I don't think we spotted this. Jan was not provisional second.
He went a lap later, didn't he, into the pits, though?
Yes, he did. So that's clearly worked out. The overcut, and he's also going to have fresher tyres.
Most likely from, when the cars come into the pits and you get held in your pit box. That's what it looks like it's come from. Boba making a move past his teammate. Just
out time. I love Laminin. I've commentated some of his driving over a long period of time, but I've lost all faith in him actually being quick, as just as we're talking about speed and pace, Boba really was pushing that Alpine, and realistically with a good exit here, there could be a chance to go side by side if he really, really wanted to. He isn't going to do it because this is high-tier F1 esports, and we don't get the joy and luxury of that entertainment.
Yeah, I think realistically, we've got to say, I think as much as I think Abdullah Bulaich, Oliver Knott, Jan Svidilic, and Enzo Sebastian are in the chance for the win, we've also got to count in Boba, I think, in all of this now, because he is proving that he is faster than Enzo Sebastian and possibly even quicker than Jan Svidilic. So definitely a podium. The win might be going out of question. Sid's Oliver Knott has pulled another second this lap.
Keeps pushing down the gauntlet. He's nearly 2 seconds, 1.9 at the moment to Jan behind him. And that's a big, big pace difference. Once he's broken out of the toe, he's just focusing forward. It's almost like he's in a mind of his own, the way he's driving right now. Just focusing on the next apex, the next corner. There's no pressure around him. And it's going to feel nice to see that he is able to just fly.
He reminds me of some other drivers from the past. For instance, Andres Lopez. If you can't remember.
Yes.
Oliver not very much reminds me this race of Andres Lopez.
Boba got past Enzo, and they're still side by side. Enzo's trying to fight back.
Oh!
How do we miss that? And Boba's had to cut the corner. He will take a warning for it and somehow stays ahead.
Wow,
Boba. That's provisional P3 right now.
I've got to say, that was a very dangerous move from Boba, but he made it work.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So baby, let it be.
But
that's exactly. Oh, that's a tag slapper of a slide. We just got Boba licked. He is pushing this car. He is not caring about tire degradation at all because he is aware that he is currently 0.9 of a second behind. He is constantly pushing to make sure he does not drop out the DRS here.
You can see it's so close. A few hundredths and he might lose it, but you can see now he's getting back within safety. Oh, there's a car that's gone round further back. That is Rayan Camporsi who's gone round. But you can see now Abdullah Bulaich into the pits. You said he'd come out in about P7. I think you might be a bit wrong.
Laminen's really, really close as well, in 6th as well, going for the overtake on Enzo. Enzo pushes deep to the inside of the corner, and Enzo, brilliant exit off 27. He was almost side by side off the exit to start off with, had to concede a little bit, but still carried his pace, and Enzo is not enjoying these hards at all.
I think it's again. It's like it's like I said earlier in the race. I think you might remember it. I said about how very much Enzo Sebastian was holding on to position purely because of DRS. I think now drivers have realised that he's a bit slower on natural pace. They've kind of clocked onto that since that first stint, and now they're like wolves. They're just there to pounce and to feast. And Oscar Villacampa's out, and that's a safety car.
Safety car. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, can I just point out, I'm a bit sad for Oliver Knott, because he pulled such a gap, of almost 3 seconds, just to lose all of that.
Damn if you're Abdullah.
And he just came in as well, 14th.
That is so harsh. I only could imagine his comms right now, screaming into the mic, knowing there was an opportunity, and it's just disappeared. However, we know he's an overtaker. We know he's got pace, and the fact is he's on fresh medium tires. He's going to save a lot of tread, a lot of pace here.
Lead.
A lot of drivers going into the pits. Drivers are changing to mediums. Oliver Knott in the pits. Oh my god. There might be hope. Abdullah is still in this race. A dream has just come true.
He's still in it, but I just want to point out there's still Jans Fidelic and Boba and Nail Hout all out in front. Then it's Abdullah, then Lucas behind, and then Oliver Knott. But we know Oliver Knott on the softs was quick, quite a bit quicker in qualifying. Will he be the same on the mediums? Because he's just put in an almighty hard tyre stint. If he does the same on the mediums, I very much do see Oliver Knott winning this race. Because as I was saying before we had a ton of action, Oliver Knott reminds me of Andres Lopez in the sort of getting into his mindset and just running away with the lead.
It very much does. It also gives me a bit of Felipe Sosa, if you remember him as well. Again, when he had clean air, was very much a flow driver. But when he is fighting, and we do see Oliver Knott, he's got some great tactics on overtaking. And it mimics, in a way, a bit of a Felipe Sosa kind of spirit. I'm trying to think. Felipe Sosa was Brazilian as well. So it's not the Brazilian pizzazz that Oliver Knott has, but he's got the British pizzazz.
does not sound as exciting if I'm
No.
being completely
No,
honest.
it does not.
But it sounds like sort of maybe a cup of coffee and a couple of donuts in the morning. You know?
Oh, that's American.
Well, toast.
Cheese-
Toast.
Yeah, beans on toast.
Yeah. That.
It's some beans
You know
on
what?
toast.
My guy can win with a full English breakfast. That's what
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
racing for here. We all know that. But
No, not the championship title. A full English breakfast is
Yeah.
the only thing he's looking for right now.
yeah, definitely. Oliver Knott. I think he's got a chance here to prove if he wins from P6, then I think we know he was just purely the best driver on the day. But I will point out here, if he doesn't win, then I think there'll be some conversation about, for instance, Abdullah and Boba and drivers like Tumas Lammon and Jan Svidilek being up there. Because Oliver Knott proved that he can be incredibly fast in the lead, but he hasn't been able to prove that he can be incredibly fast from P6 and fight his way up through to winning from P6 in just sort of 6-7 laps.
I see that. I do see it. But the thing is I understand these guys pitting is being on a faster tire. You got less than 10 laps to go, but at the same time, you've lost so much track position. We say at the start, track position is king. So the likes of Jan and Boba, who are sitting 1-2 here, and then Neil Gout and Abdullah deciding, well, you know what, screw it, I'm not pitting. This is going to benefit them because I do believe there is enough pace in the hard, I think, for Neil Gout and for and Boba and Jan. But Abdullah, with those fresh mediums, really got the primary slot here with his aggressive overtaking. So it really is a case of I don't think Oliver Knott did the right thing here. I think he's made a mistake.
Possibly, but we do have to take into account though that if Abdullah Bulaich would have been P5 if Oliver Knott didn't pit, would that be enough, even on the hard tyres, to defend from Abdullah Bulaich on fresh mediums as the safety car is coming in? Because I'll be honest, I don't think it would have been enough for Oliver Knott. I think Abdullah would have won. But now, it's the real question. Jan Svidilek, for the first time this evening, leads the way. And he's going to be doing the second safety car restart of the evening as we can't see the cars as they're just so far away. As now, Jan Svidilek, is he going to go for it? No, he's waiting. He's waiting for it again. Being very smart. You can see Boba just sitting there waiting and waiting for the sound
This is
going.
long.
And now
This
he
is so
goes,
long.
and that's actually a pretty decent restart. Oh, there's chaos at the back. There's a lot of chaos. Look at this. Lots of chaos happening at the back as Jan Svidilek leads into the first corner. Abdullah Bulaich down the inside makes the move on Nail Out. And you can see everybody's going absolutely everywhere. Daniel Goshok, Enzo Sabaton going down. He's spun round. He's down to P17 in this race. Jan Svidilek leads from Boba, Abdullah Bulaich, then Nail Gout. And oh, look at this. Oliver Knott. Look. Oh my God, side by side with Lucas. Through this first sector, still going side by side. Is he going to be able to make the move into the round hairpin? You can see Abdullah Bulaich also make a move on Boba. Now, Oliver Knott up into P5, and you can see Abdullah also trying to make the move past Boba for P2. It is all happening here on lap number 19. Oh my God.
Is there a chance for Abdullah? He's been the overtaking king of this series. He has not been on the top step as of yet, but he is on the fringe of making that dream come true. A 9th. And then from the last race, he was on the podium hunting Jan on fresher tires. He has been hungry all the way, and Oliver Knott is going to try and go for a double down the inside. This is risky as hell. Oliver Knott's not waiting around. He knows the desperation to start to come in, but up front, Abdullah is going to look down the inside as well. Abdullah will find that position, but so does Oliver Knott as he goes for a lunge. The defense on the inside will find Boba, but Boba can't hold it out because of the grip of those medium tires. Don't go for a double. Play it safe, Oliver Knott. And that is exactly what he'll have to do. Stick it close through the S's. Maybe a lunge into 13 may come alive. But Oliver Knott is looking for any form of mistake to come through from Jan. He has to breathe for a moment.
I have no words for this. I have no words. Oliver Knott is all over this. He's got the chance to take P2 here. He's got to make a move on this straight because Abdullah Bulaich is now 1.7 seconds off in the lead. He has to make the move now or he will never take the lead of this race. He'll never have a chance. And there goes Oliver Knott with the DRS. He gets past Jan Spadilic with ease. And look at that, already pulling a massive gap back to the Sauber and through the chicane. Very, very good driving for himself. But we've got to look back. It's also Thomas Lammen, by the way, who's also making up quite a few places quite nicely in that Aston Martin. He's got Nailgout and his teammate next up on the list, and a charge for the podium from Thomas Lammen, a very rare charge for the podium there. Tom Wolfgram going for a move on Leon and Zio for P13, and that's a nice move there. We can see
Ivan Santamaria also going for a push to get past the Mercedes of Lucas. Looks to the outside, switches to the inside, dives it down, but the Mercedes able to hold ground. A little bit of contact between both of them, and it will force the Red Bull to go deep. But the Red Bull stays close. He knows he has the inside line, but has to concede early on.
Look for
and
the back.
It's chaos everywhere. It's the Haas now with Spezzy around the outside. Says thank you very much. Closes the door onto Dark Zanias. Wow. I will hold an apology to Oliver Knott, though. This has worked. This has worked perfectly for him, as Thomas Laminen now will get past Neil Gout, and he's got his teammate Boba ahead of him.
Hopefully, this should be a pretty simple move for Thomas Laminen. He'll be hoping very much that it will be an easy move. We'll have to wait and see. Will he get past his teammate? Of course, they're both on the same team, so are we going to see some teamwork happen here or not? Or is it just going to be battling all the way to the end? Are we going to see
not close enough?
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Daniel Goshalt, by the way, also getting past Lucas, who's got very close to the wall there. As Lucas now drops down behind Elias Laka as well. But we look to the lead. Abdullah Bulaich still leading the race by 1.6 seconds, but the gap is dropping slightly. Boba down the inside of Jan Svedilic. He's doing anything to protect his position here ahead of his teammate. He's really doing anything just to stay in front. Now, he's going to get past Jan Svedilic into turn 1. Is he going to go for the move? Yes, he is. And behind him, his teammate, Thomas Laminen, is going to follow through as well. He's following his teammate around the outside, the superior grip of the fresh medium tyres. And it's a great move and a great defense. And look at this, a swap. Whoa! Incredibly close. Boba and Jan Svedilic. Oh, and it's a half spin for Jan Svedilic. He gets half spin. Look at this. He's got another car there. That's Nail Gout. And Nail Gout almost causes an absolutely almighty crash with all of the chaos happening in front of him. But luckily, he thinks about it and he keeps his front wing away from the rear tyre of the Sauber.
Boba will 100% go for the stewards for that. I know the plan was to try and get Thomas Laminen into fresh air, but Boba being a little too over-aggressive and bumping with the kick Sauber is going to cost him. By the way, at the front, you briefly said about the gains, and the gains are gone. Safety car, safety car.
Are we going to see soft tyre stops?
No, not at this point. Why lose track position at this phase of the race? There is 0 point to change it. But I was going to make a point. Oliver Knott had cut that gap from 1.6 to 1.1 before the safety car came out. So massive pace on the side of Abdullah. No, Abdullah, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, he baited us all. I thought he was. He was trying to force Oliver Knott to come in, but it just did not work.
I have to say, he will have to be careful there because of the pit entry line.
You could do it at that point, but as long as it doesn't go past the physical divider.
A little bit lucky there. It was a bit close. But another safety car. Jonas Allpol comes in and Leon Zio also comes in. But for Abdullah Bulaich, I feel like this could be the start of the end.
We're going to get one lap of racing. We're going to get one lap of racing.
We'll get two.
Ooh, we're going to come in at 24?
Yeah, because it can't do it for the final lap, I believe. It's always been,
Ooh, baby. Two. So that will give Oliver Knott, hang on a minute, 1, 2, half, 2.5, 3. So 3.5 opportunities, that becomes 7 opportunities.
With the DRS though on the final lap.
Mm-hmm.
That could go Oliver Knott's way. But the big question, also, I want to just add in Tumas Lamlin. He's just pulled himself back up into a chance. I mean, if Tumas Lamlin wins, you're going to have to say sorry to this man for what you said earlier.
You know what? Yeah, I will say sorry to him. I will. He's proved me wrong because this season he's just not shown much, and I have been slightly disappointed. But hey, a bit of harsh love goes a long way apparently. But we still do have the last 2 laps as they cross over that of the third sector. Safety car is in this lap. Everybody backs up, and we look to Abdullah. One shot of a chance to get the win with Oliver Knott on fresher tires behind you. Oliver Knott is in 8th right now in this championship. Abdullah in 7th in the championship. So switching positions would be a major turnaround. On top of this, the fact our championship leader, Enzo, nowhere to be seen.
Oh, and he's gone.
As we go. He's going, he's booked it, and he's already caught the Ferrari napping in this and put him in the back of Thomas Laminen. Thomas Laminen might even want to lunge down the inside. No, Laminen knows this is not the right time. He doesn't have a good enough straight line speed just yet to go for it, so has to remain patient, and Abdullah brings himself to a 0.5 of a second gap. Not a second gap that he was hoping for, but it's good enough for the moment.
It's just about good enough, but can he extend that over this lap? That's the important thing. He needs to build over a second in this lap as Enzo Sabaton is making his way back through. Look at that. Oh my God, what is going on? Enzo Sabaton's gone off again, and I think he's in the wall. Yes, he was, I think, or he spun.
No matter, you got to keep looking at the front. We have to look at the front. Oliver Knott, 0.2 of a second, closing in those fresher mediums, really showing their worth. As it drops down to 0.1, Oliver Knott knows he can't waste a second here. He has to be confident. He has to be brave. As we go into the DRS zone, he closes. He goes to the inside. Abdullah will know that he has to make sure he's got 22 covered, and he doesn't allow the Ferrari to keep going. But a better exit for the Ferrari. 27's powerful. 27, you could make an overtake, but do you play games here? Do you allow the Ferrari to fly past? So you take the DRS from it. We saw this in 2021 from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in real life. No, Abdullah focuses on track position and has to remain calm as Oliver Knott, 0.3 of a second, closes in. DRS now enabled. Won't be able to use it on this lap, and Abdullah will stay safe for another sector.
Abdullah Bulaich, he's just struggling, isn't he, a bit? He's struggling to stay in front. Oliver Knott with that superior tyre. Look at that again. Oliver Knott looking very close to making a very daring move. But Abdullah Bulaich, do you think he's trying to back him up into Tumas Laminen?
Through the slow sectors, it would make sense. Put some pressure with Thomas Laminen onto Oliver Knott. It might force a mistake, and definitely through sector 1. But here is where he's got to start putting the power down. He's got to be consistent, and a great exit through 13, because the rest of this is straight line dominant. And Oliver Knott, 0.3 of a second behind. He's got a 92% battery charge. That is gonna get drained, and it starts to open up. He closes. He can see the Red Bull. He can read Oracle so clearly. He looks to the inside once again, and Oliver Knott's through.
And it is brilliant. from the man who took pole. Final lap. But now, can Abdullah gain that back with the DRS? Look how much Abdullah's closing as they come up towards the final corner. Down the inside goes Abdullah Bulaj. Oh! And that is your Oliver not spun round. Abdullah Bulaj is going to come up to the line. He's going to win it in Saudi Arabia. But out of the final corner, absolute chaos.
I don't think Abdullah's keeping it. I want to celebrate so hard here. But Abdullah, he was not side by side. And a time penalty is coming his way.
Time penalty coming Abdullah's way. And my voice hopefully returning to me at some point. Absolutely losing my voice in those final moments. But, I mean, I've got no words for that. That means, by your account, by what we think, Tumas Lamman has won.
Potentially. I just don't see that.
No,
I don't see that in a steward's room.
The thing is, for me, I will just point out here, I think Abdullah will really need to show his POV to this. Because I think that will be the only thing. Did Oliver not close the door slightly? Or was it just too much of an opportunistic dive? But in the end, I do feel bad for Oliver not. Yeah. I will say, I think we can both agree for Oliver Knott, that was very much a deserved win. But
oh yeah,
final corner. I don't think they're going to be friends after this.
CBA is all that's put into the chat.
Let's go through the grid order just quickly. Abdullah Bulaj wins from 19th on the grid, followed by Tumas Lamman and Boba, Jans Verdilic, Ivan Santamaria, Nelgout, Daniel Goshawk, Elias Lockhart, Lucas, Oliver Knott, Jonas Dorpel, Leon Zero, Spezzi, Dark Zenias, Enzo Sabaton, Ryan Camporsi, then the retirements being Tom Wolfgram, Oscar, Ryan Grob, and Tristan Janssen, trying to fit in all the names as quickly as I can. But with that, I genuinely, I actually feel like quite sad on the inside because I've had that personally a few years ago when I was racing. I had that twice in a single season where I was actually hit on the final lap and I lost a win both times, and it was so frustrating. You know, it's not even like first lap you get poled, you get crashed out, fine, but it's the fact that he's done the whole race and even up to the final corner and then gets taken out. Like, that is just, I don't know why, but I can even feel my own blood boiling just over his incident. I
get it. It is one of those where it is, you've put all that blood, sweat, and tears, you've made a strategy work. And again, I'll take back my words. I honestly thought track position was going to be more superior, but that tire offset was critical. Even if it was by 1 or 2 laps, it showed massively. So Oliver Knott has that big brain mechanics in this, and he has gone and done everything he needs to. But the same can be said for Abdullah. You know, going long, waiting for the safety car, it came out. Thankfully, it half worked for him because everybody else decided to pit. Was it reckless to go for that dive bomb? No, I wouldn't describe it as reckless. He was committing to a gap that had opened up. He knew he had that one shot. Unfortunately, he couldn't slow that car down enough to back out of a mistake. And vice versa, he didn't brake late enough to say that I fully got this position. So he's stuck in the middle, and realistically, it's an awkward position. If he gets a 5-second time penalty, he will still remain in front of Oliver Knott. But if he gets a 10-second penalty, he will drop behind.
I see 5 seconds purely just so he doesn't win. I probably see that. I just have a quick question for you. It was Abdullah, Tumas, and Boba on the podium, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. I was double checking because I wasn't sure about Boba. I couldn't remember whether he had a penalty or not.
Yeah, he got there in the end.
Yeah,
he got there in the end.
But Tumas Lammanen, as it stands, Tumas Lammanen could be looking at a victory.
Potentially. There is a potential victory.
I mean, it's a thin 1-2.
It is. The margins between first and second was 0.1 by the end of it. 0.1. It's not the closest we've seen in a while. There has been a lot closer drag races to the finish line, but it definitely is up there for entertainment for final laps for sure. But yeah, it's gonna be down to the stewards. I still put my hands up and say, as somebody who has been in the stewards room one too many times and knows the system well, and also getting the race bans and also disqualified from the entire season. Yeah, I've got pretty good knowledge of that rule book.
Yeah. Also cover for myself, who's a steward has done a lot of stewarding in the past. To me, from what I saw, that would probably be a 5-second penalty. Personally, I think 10 seconds would be a bit severe to a driver for clipping like that. It depends on whether he just he was. One thing I always say is when going into a corner, if you're dive bombing it and you on the brakes and then you come off for the brakes, then I think for me, then that's more of that's entirely you didn't even try to hit the corner. And so, of course, they'll have to wait to see what the telemetry and everything was from Abdullah Bulaich. And there is a clip, Oliver Knott has sent it. So I will probably watch that afterwards and not cry with laughter. I will just cry in general. But yeah, I think we've all been in situations like Oliver Knott. Me about 5 times in my life. But, and yes, I do mean race winning chances. But I think what Oliver Knott did tonight was brilliant driving. And I don't think anybody could deny that he drove badly or there was a mistake or anything. I don't think we saw a single mistake from either Abdullah Bulaich or Oliver Knott up to the end of that race until the final corner. So I think realistically in all of it, I think both of them were very much, the top drivers of today. You got to take into account Abdullah's overtaking was perfection. But Oliver Knott's dominance was just beyond belief. Do we feel like giving Oliver Knott an interview? Do we feel like it?
Shall we break tradition where we have the normal top 3?
I mean, nobody else wants to do it, so.
Screw it.
Yeah.
Let's be interesting. Let's get his point of view. Talking points. Let's avoid the incident.
Yeah, let's just not. You know what? Let's just not talk about the race. Let's just talk about qualifying.
Let's talk about qualifying. Let's talk about that.
Every question. Bro would know. He was joking. That's.
You really think we're gonna bluff? You see me bluffing?
Yeah. We be real here.
We be real. You want to come on and talk about it? We'll talk about it.
You know what?
We'll definitely do it.
Anyway, I will say, I was actually going to ask.
He said,
mention, yeah.
Mr. Oliver Knott, you're brave to put in the chat that you want to interview. And if you put it in the chat, I'm not going to bluff. I'm going to drag you in.
Hey, man, I was just being sarcastic, to be honest. But I'm glad to be here.
Well, I want to talk about the positives first, before we get to the whole incident. Let's talk about the positives, because throughout that race, you demonstrated beautiful pace. You managed the gaps. You were able to break away on the second half of the race as well. I think you got to a point of 5 seconds at one point. What was it about that car that just felt right today? What made it all work?
I don't know, really. I mean, I got lucky with the overcut. I was able to stay P1, which was really huge. And then I kind of just realized that he had an 8-10th gap behind. So I was like, okay, I'll push with the ERS, and I gapped him, which was good. But no, I just got a good setup, to be honest. I felt really confident. I could actually drive the car well without really having any moments or on the steer or anything. So yeah, it was good. It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate because things happened. Things happened.
The big question I have is, and I question it. You're gonna watch back the stream. You're actually gonna hear me critique that decision to pit. in this type of position that you're in, where the safety cars come out late, and then you have that option, what is kind of like what made you decide, yeah, let's pit for some fresh softs rather than staying on the hards that I'm already on?
I just thought, obviously, there'd be a better tire at the end. It'd be a bit quicker. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll go for it. Why not? I wasn't expecting people to stay out though, to be honest. But I mean, obviously, I got back through quite quickly. But obviously, Abdullah gapped. Who was it? Jan, I think it was. It was Jan. By like 2 seconds by the time I got past him. So that was quite unfortunate. But I was still catching on him anyways. Like I would have needed one more lap, and I would have been in his DRS. And that's when the safety car came out. So I mean, you know, I kind of just thought it'd be the better option. It's as simple as that, to be honest.
I do have a question for you. So, around the entire race, sort of, you kind of kept that lead from the start. You know, we didn't really see you lose that lead much, except under the pit stops. So, how were you managing, kind of, to stay in the lead? Was it kind of sportsmanship of sort of working with other drivers to catch up, to like
Definitely not.
Abdullah and stuff, or was it more kind of just you all focusing on having the best performance and best pace to catch up?
Yeah, simply that. It's simply that. I mean, well, where from? As in from the safety car restart, or from when I boxed?
From when you first stopped, and Abdullah continued. I think he was 12 or 13 seconds in the lead.
Yeah, because he started on the hards. So like, because I wasn't expecting everyone to go so early, because I was going to box lap 12, but everyone boxed lap 10. So I was like, okay, well I need to box now, otherwise I'm gonna get undercut like crazy. And I honestly thought I was gonna still lose maybe like 2 or 3 positions, but I saw they were right there, the train, and I was like, okay, I'm fine. But yeah, like, I don't really know. I was just driving like normal. It's as simple as that. I mean,
that
I was staying ahead.
Like the average.
Like,
I was just driving.
Honestly, I was just driving. I was just burning enough ERS to stay ahead, saving enough in the first sector, and I just had enough pace clearly to actually gap enough in the first sector and then keep the lead no matter what. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't do anything differently. I literally just drove the way I normally would.
Fair enough. I think sometimes, you know, you sort of have that thing where all the drivers kind of notice that they're far away from the guy who's leading or where they want to be. And so you all kind of subconsciously work together to catch up. But, yeah, for me, I don't have any other questions. I just wanted to ask that question since it was interesting.
All right, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. I think we're at the point we have to now. We've done the niceties. That incident, you know, everything was under your control. Talk me through it. Just talk me through.
Yeah, I hate Abdullah. I'm going to straight line him next race.
I'm just ready for that, for just you saying that to be clipped like 1,000 times. Like that's gonna be the most rewatched like moment of this entire stream. It's just gonna be you saying you're gonna straight line him.
No, obviously not. I mean, I'm obviously just annoyed because I think my season has been pretty awful so far. Considering where I've been, I've got 3 races done, 3 poles, and I've not been able to convert anything, which is disappointing.
Sounding
I mean,
like
obviously
last of it, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Vegas, I mean, stuff happened. Monza was my fault, really. And then this obviously just happened then, but I was in control. So obviously, when you're in control and when you're winning like that, it's obviously quite annoying to lose it like that. But it's fine. It is what it is. Keep going for the next races.
Well, all right, thank you very much, Oliver. I know it's not, I know we called you bluff, and it definitely is going to be hard to deal with, but I know you're going to bounce back. So we'll see you in the next race.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
So the next person, we do have Tumas Laminen. It took a little while to respond to us, but I'll drag him in, or you will.
I'll drag him in. Tumas Laminen. First of all, I'm going to get this out and done and dusted before Epic Freestyler says anything. I want to apologize to you. I was being way too harsh after a dodgy start to your season, and I said I was disappointed. So first of all, Thomas Laminen, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's okay, bro.
We think we're already friends again. Already
Yeah.
friends. Brilliant race from you. There is a chance that you could be race winner off this pending steward's review. Talk me through that race. Talk me how you feel about your performance today.
It was kind of decent, to be honest. Like, I think the start I got, there was some, I don't know, was it desync or what with Ryan, and I lost like 2 or 3 positions in that. And then, yeah, was the medium stint was pretty boring, and then we decided to undercut, and the outlap was like really amazing, and the undercut as well. And yeah, from that point, I think I was P3 maybe. And then my teammate Buba was there also, and we were working together. And then there was like 3 safety cars, and it was unfortunate for Oliver because he was he was dominating like really well the whole race, and he got basically robbed of the win. But at the same time, I feel happy for myself because I will most likely get the win. So
Well,
that's about it, really.
yeah. I have a question.
Yep.
When it came down to those final few laps, because you were a bit further behind from Oliver Knott, what was kind of the main thing? Was it getting on the podium, or was it kind of, I want this win, I'm just going to push past everybody for it?
I mean, before the last safety car, it was because the gap was like 3 seconds or something. So I knew that only P3 was like the maximum I could get. And then after the last safety car, I was thinking that, now I have the chance for a shot at the win. Because if they collide or something like this, and then exactly that happened. So, I was really just waiting for them to make a mistake in the end. So, yeah.
Well, I want to talk a bit about your qualifying. What was better this time around? Because you pushed yourself into the top 10 for your qualifying. The qualifying previously have not been as strong. Is Saudi just your track? Did you feel more confident around this track compared to others?
Yeah, I think Saudi is my best track on the whole calendar, to be honest. But I didn't really get that much practice in, so I didn't feel that confident with the car and the setup. So I just managed to book a decent lap, but I was slightly like blocked or distracted in the last corner on the last run, so I was like, I think P5 with that, so that was a bit unlucky.
Yeah. Well, anything else from you, Epic, or?
Not really, because I think very much you completely covered it.
Yeah.
I will just say, great job on the win, man. I've been waiting too long for this. I've been waiting too long for this
Thank
win
you.
from you, man.
Thank you.
It's spectacular to see, and again, hopefully you watch back and laugh at how I commented on it on yourself. And we hope this isn't the last time we see you on the podium. I hope we see more of it. And this is the Thomas Laminen that I have been talking about previously, time and time again. To us, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Wow, we finally had it. All my commentary and all the things that I've talked about that man may finally come true, a pending steward's review, but nonetheless, he's got a podium. He's finally on the front row of the podium. It is great to see, and there's a part of me that's super happy right now.
Yeah, part of you should be sad because your camera stopped working.
How the hell does that happen?
There we go. Now it's working. It just said it just came up with like error. That's like all it came up with.
I might have accidentally minimized it.
Yeah.
That's why.
So, but with that is of course the end of today. But I will just say, thank you to all the drivers for driving and giving us probably from what I've seen, the best race I've had in more than a year. I will point that out. It is an unholy level of race that we've just seen today. Also big thanks to you for putting up with my actually screaming down the mic.
I deal with it daily, so don't worry about it.
You know what? I'm gonna get payback for I'm gonna watch you do some commentary, and I'm gonna get payback for it. So, yeah. Also, so with that being the end, let's go through the usuals. Make sure to subscribe to WR here. Also, make sure to leave a like on the stream. If you don't, I will know. Also, make sure to click on the notification bell to know about all the streams we do from PC to console to world to absolutely everything WR does. It's too long to list. Also, make sure to check us out. Up above, you can see there's 3 links. One, our YouTube above Hyper. Then between the two of us, there is, of course, WR League on Twitter or X, either one you want to call it. And then on TikTok, World Online Racing F1 as well, where you can get even more action. Also, big thanks to our sponsors, Next Level Racing and Grid Finder. Have you got any last words, Hyperactive? Not for your life, but for the stream.
Moist.
Well, you've heard the man. It is moist. Oh, this was not a stream ending I expected. But with that, I hope all of you have a moisty day, and I will see you guys very soon. And we'll be back next Monday at 8 PM once again for Tier 3. And we'll just go to the calendar while Hyperactive has a heart attack on the camera. As we'll be going to Mexico next week. We've completed Las Vegas, Great Britain, Italy, and now Saudi Arabia. We'll be going to Mexico City next week on the 1st, then Canada, then Austria to end off 2025. And then we will have China and Sao Paulo to end off the season 2. Very different tracks in track order. But with that, thank you to everybody for watching. I hope to see you very soon. And goodbye, and stay moist. Thank you.